The elevator doors slid shut with a soft ding, sealing me in with him, Ethan Blackwood, my ruthless alpha boss whose icy stare could freeze hell itself. I clutched the stack of reports against my chest, heart pounding as his potent cedar and storm pheromone flooded the confined space, making my Omega instincts scream in warning. Then, without a word, he lunged, fangs sinking into my neck's gland in a searing bite that shattered my world, binding us in a mate claim I never saw coming. I staggered back as the doors opened on the top floor of Blackwood Enterprises in downtown Seattle, blood trickling down my collar, my body igniting with a heat that wasn't just pine, it was something primal, forbidden. Ethan straightened his tie, his emerald eyes flickering with a possessiveness that sent chills down my spine. "You're mine now, Alex," he growled low, his voice like thunder rolling over the Puget Sound. "Don't fight it." That night, I fled the office building, rain slicking the streets as I hailed a cab to my tiny apartment in Capitol Hill. My neck throbbed where he'd marked me, the gland pulsing with an unfamiliar ache that twisted into unwanted desire. How could this happen? I'd been his executive assistant for 6 months, enduring his cold commands and late-night demands, never once suspecting the Alpha CEO harbored anything beyond professional disdain for a lowly Omega like me. Omegas in corporate America were rare, often sidelined or scented as weak. But I clawed my way up with suppressants and sheer will, hiding my heats behind a facade of beta neutrality. Now, that facade was crumbling. I collapsed onto my bed, staring at the ceiling fan whirring lazily. The bite wasn't just a mark. In our Omegaverse society, it was a biological lock, syncing pheromones and fates. Alphas like Ethan dominant, wealthy, untouchable rarely claimed Omegas impulsively. Was it a power play? A mistake in the heat of his rut? My phone buzzed, a text from him. "Come back. We need to talk." I deleted it, but my body betrayed me, a warm flush spreading at the thought of his touch. The next morning, I called in sick, but by noon, a sleek black car idled outside my building. Ethan emerged, raincoat billowing like a cape, his presence commanding the sidewalk. Neighbors gawked as he knocked on my door. "Alex, open up," he demanded, voice muffled but insistent. I cracked it an inch. What the hell was that last night? You can't just bite someone without consent. His jaw tightened, regret flashing in those stormy eyes for the first time. I lost control. "You're sent." It's been driving me mad for months. But now it's done. You're my mate. Mate. The word hung heavy, laden with societal expectations. Omegas submitting, alphas protecting. In progressive Seattle. Sure. But old instincts died hard. I slammed the door. But he didn't leave. Hours later, I found groceries on my doorstep, fresh salmon, artisanal bread, and a note, "Eat. You need strength." Work became a battlefield. I returned the following day, determined to quit. But Ethan cornered me in the break room. "Resign if you must, but the bond won't break." His hand brushed mine, sending electric sparks up my arm. I yanked away, but inside, my Omega whined for more. Colleagues whispered had they smelled the change. In board meetings, Ethan's gaze lingered on me, protective growls escaping when a beta VP got too close. One evening, as the office emptied, he pulled me into his corner suite overlooking Elliott Bay. "Why fight this, Alex? I've built an empire. but it's empty without you. His vulnerability cracked my defenses. We talked for the first time. He confessed his lonely upbringing in a strict alpha family in New York, moving west to escape expectations. I'd fled a conservative Midwest town where Omegas were married off young, chasing dreams in the tech boom. Our first kiss was tentative, his lips claiming mine with a gentleness that belied his alpha strength. But doubts lingered. Was this real? Or just biology? That night, in his penthouse, passion ignited. His hands roamed, tracing the bite mark, our bodies sinking in a dance of heat and need. "You're everything," he murmured, as waves crashed below. Yet, kinks in the bond emerged. My heats intensified, suppressants failing against the mate pull. Ethan became overprotective, canceling my solo trips, his alpha instincts clashing with my independence. Arguments flared. "I'm not your property," I'd shout. "But you're my heart," he'd counter, eyes pleading. A crisis hit when a rival firm, led by a scheming alpha named Marcus, targeted Blackwood Enterprises. Leaks suggested sabotage. Ethan suspected industrial espionage, his paranoia spiking. "Stay close," he ordered, assigning bodyguards. I bristled but uncovered a hacked email in my inbox, framing me. Confrontation came during a stormy board meeting. Marcus burst in, smirking. "Your Omega assistant is the leak. Check the logs." Ethan's roar shook the room. Lies. But doubt flickered. Heart-shattering. I ran, tears mixing with rain on Seattle's streets. Hiding in a coffee shop, I pieced it together. Marcus had planted evidence, exploiting our new bond to destabilize Ethan. My phone rang. "Ethan." "Alex. Please. I know it's not you." His voice broke. "Come home." I returned, not as subordinate, but partner. Together, we exposed Marcus, his scheme crumbling under evidence I'd gathered. In the aftermath, Ethan knelt. "I was wrong to doubt. Mary meant it because of the bite, but because I love you." Our wedding on a Puget Sound ferry was simple, friends cheering as we vowed equality. The bond, once forced, became chosen. In America's melting pot, we proved love transcended instincts, forging a path for others. But shadows loomed. Ethan's family arrived, disapproving of an unpedigreed Omega. His father, a Wall Street titan, sneered. "This weakens you." Ethan stood firm. "It strengthens me." My past caught up to a former flame. Beta from college. Resurfaced, stirring jealousy. "He's safe." He tempted. Ethan's growl was feral, but he trusted me. "Choose us," he whispered. Through it all, our love deepened. Intimate moments in hidden coves or late-night drives along the coast. Ethan's cold exterior melted, revealing a man who cooked breakfast, laughed at my jokes, and held me through nightmares. Yet, the ultimate test came with my first bonded heat. Isolated in his cabin in the Olympics, fever raged. Ethan tended me, his touch soothing and inflaming. "I won't take unless you ask," he promised, honoring consent despite alpha urges. In that vulnerability, I saw his true strength, restraint born of love. As heat subsided, we emerged closer, planning a future, adopting, advocating for Omega rights in corporate America. Blackwood Enterprises launched inclusivity programs. Ethan at the helm. One crisp autumn day, walking hand in hand through Pike Place Market. Scents of flowers and fish mingling. He pulled me close. That bite was fate's nudge. But the Seuss is our choice. I nodded, heart full. Our story rippled outward. Friends confided their own hidden bonds, inspired by our openness. In a world where alphas dominated, we showed balance, power shared, love equal. Challenges persisted societal prejudices, internal doubts, but each hurdle fortified us. Ethan's possessiveness softened into partnership. My independence blended with trust. Years later, watching our adopted pup play in the yard of our suburban home outside Seattle, I traced the faded mark on my neck. Worth it? Ethan asked, arm around me. Every moment, I replied. In the end, what began as an unwelcome bite bloomed into profound connection, teaching that true mates aren't claimedly cherished, chosen, and changed for the better. Tension built like a gathering storm over the Cascade Mountains as whispers of a larger threat emerged. Marcus, the rival alpha we'd exposed, didn't slink away quietly. From his base in San Francisco, he rallied disgruntled ex-employees, plotting a cyber attack on Blackwood servers. Ethan paced our living room, phone glued to his ear, his alpha pheromones spiking with fury. We'll crush him, he vowed, but I saw the worry lines etching his face. I dove into the fray, using my skills to trace digital footprints. Late nights in our home office, screens glowing. We worked side by side. His hand would find mine under the desk, a silent anchor. You're brilliant, he'd murmur, pulling me into a kiss that reignited the spark. But doubt crept in. Was I truly his equal? Or just the Omega he'd accidentally bound? During a heated argument, I snapped. You bit me without asking, how can I trust this isn't pity? Ethan's eyes darkened. Pity? Alex, I've loved you since your first day, suppressing it to protect you. His confession hung, raw and real. Reconciliation came in passion's embrace, our bodies reaffirming what words couldn't. Yet, the attack hit data breached, stocks plummeting. Ethan blamed himself. I failed you. Curled on the couch, he let me hold him, vulnerability stripping his alpha armor. We rallied the team, my ideas turning the tide. In a high-stakes meeting in New York, facing investors, I stood beside him. This isn't just business, it's our future. Ethan's proud gaze fueled me. We won back trust. Shares rebounding. Personal storms brewed too. My heat cycles, now synced to him, brought intense cravings. One episode struck during a business trip to Chicago. Pulled up in a hotel. Ethan's restraint wavered. Tell me to stop, he gasped. But I pulled him closer, whispering, don't. Our union was electric, deepening the bond. Back home, family intervened. Ethan's sister, a fierce beta lawyer from Boston, visited. He's changed because of you, she confided. For the better. Her approval warmed me, but his father's persistent calls demanded an heir. Omegas are for breeding, he snarled over speakerphone. Ethan hung up. Our family. Our rules. My own ghosts resurfaced a call from my estranged mother in Ohio. Come home. Forget this alpha nonsense. I refused, but it stirred old wounds. Ethan listened as I poured out my fears. his arms a safe haven. Amid chaos, romance flourished in stolen moments, picnics in Discovery Park, where he'd feed me strawberries, eyes alight with love. "You're my world," he'd say, tracing my gland scar. The climax came when Marcus kidnapped me during a Seattle fundraiser, using suppressants to mask his scent. Bound in a warehouse by the docks, fear clawed at me. "Ethan will come," I taunted. Marcus laughed. "He's too busy saving his empire." But Ethan arrived like a force of nature, bursting through doors with security. Fists flew in an alpha showdown, Ethan's roars echoing. He freed me, cradling my face. "Never again," he promised, lips crashing on a mine amid the debris. In the hospital aftermath, as bruises faded, we confronted truths. "I can't lose you," Ethan admitted. "But I won't cage you." I nodded. Partners. Always. Recovery brought clarity. We testified against Marcus, his empire crumbling. Media hailed us as symbols of resilience, our story inspiring Omega advocacy groups across the U.S. Intimacy evolved gentle explorations in our bed, where he'd whisper praises, making me feel cherished, not claimed. "Your strength humbles me," he'd say. As winter blanketed Seattle, we hosted a holiday party, friends toasting our bond. Laughter filled the air, but Ethan's hand on my back grounded me. One snowy night, by the fire, he proposed again, not on one knee, but equals. "Build a life with me." Tears fell as I accepted. Our journey taught that love in Omegaverse wasn't destiny's dictate, but a daily choice, weaving kismet with consent. With Marcus behind bars, peace settled like fresh snow over Mount Rainier. But life's rhythms brought new depths to our bond. Ethan scaled back at work, delegating to focus on us. Mornings in our kitchen, him brewing coffee while I prepped omelets, became sacred. His smile, once rare, now lit rooms. We traveled a road trip down the Pacific Coast Highway, wind in our hair, stopping at Big Sur Cliffs. There, under starlit skies, we made love on a blanket, waves serenading. "Forever," he vowed. The bites echo a gentle hum. Advocacy became our passion. We founded the Omega Empowerment Fund, lobbying in D.C. for rights. At a Capitol rally, I spoke, bonds should uplift, not bind. Ethan beamed from the crowd, his support unwavering. Challenges tested us. A false scandal erupted, tabloids claiming the bite was coerced. Protesters picketed Blackwood. Ethan shielded me, but I faced them. "Our love is real," I declared. Public opinion shifted, humanizing us. Intimately, we explored boundaries. Ethan's alpha dominance softened. He let me lead, discovering mutual pleasure. "Teach me," he'd urge. Vulnerability intoxicating. Family reconciled. His father visited, gruff but thawing. "You've built something strong." Mine called, apologetic. "I'm proud." We adopted a beta orphan from foster care, naming him Jordan. His laughter filled our home. Ethan a doting father, changing diapers with alpha efficiency. Years passed, our story a beacon. At a book launch for my memoir on Omega experiences, Ethan introduced me, my mate, my muse. One anniversary, revisiting the elevator where it began. He recreated the moment sans bite, If I could redo, I'd court you properly. I laughed. But I wouldn't change a thing. Our love, forged in fire, proved that even unexpected beginnings could yield profound endings, emphasizing choice, respect, and humanity in a divided world. In quiet moments, reflecting on the journey from shock to synergy, I knew the bite was merely the spark. The flame we nurtured together illuminated paths for countless others, showing that true mating transcended biology, embracing the heart's infinite capacity for growth and grace. As Jordan grew, we taught him values, empathy over dominance, love without limits. Watching him play soccer in the yard, Ethan's arm around me, contentment washed over. Occasional heats reminded us of instincts, but we navigated with communication. What do you need? He'd ask, always prioritizing. Professionally, Blackwood thrived under joint leadership. I rose to COO. Our synergy innovative. Socially, friends' weddings mirrored ours, diverse bonds celebrated. We mentored young couples, sharing wisdom, listen, forgive, evolve. A health scare. Ethan's stress-induced episode brought perspective. In the hospital, holding his hand, I whispered, "We're in this together." Recovery strengthened us, prioritizing balance. Decades on, silver in our hair, we retired to a cabin in the woods, Jordan visiting with grandkids. Stories shared by the fire. It started with a bite. Our legacy. A world slightly kinder to Omegas. Alphas learning humility. In the end, what mattered wasn't the warning unheeded, but the life embraced. Love, in its truest form, wasn't possession, it was partnership, proving that even cold beginnings could warm souls eternally.